something so serious we can't even joke about it. Okay? There's a little bit of a viewer discretion advised, because slaughterhouses aren't a laughing matter. They're supposed to be taken serious and, oh. Well, I'm here to talk to you about enhancing the quality of life for those beside you, those behind you, and the generations that are here to come. Veganism is about enhancing life for humanity, for animals, and for the planet as a whole. And for the record, I'm actually not going to show you pictures of slaughterhouses because, I want to give poor old Barry Bike a break.
Good, thank you.
I kind of want to get a good grade on this too. So, improving the quality of life. Let's start off by exploring what exactly veganism is. According to the Encyclopedia of Nursing and Allied Health, the root word veg comes from the meaning full of life. Full of life. Okay, well, in 1847, when vegetarians first started using the word and kind of exploring what this phenomenon is, were settled in England, and this is something they were kind of trying to achieve by just, simply cutting out meat from their diet. Then we go on to the Vegan Society in 1944, where they wanted to promote something beyond a diet, something that is going to promote health, peace, without the expense of human suffering and animal suffering. And veganism it extends beyond a diet. It goes on to kind of show you how it affects even the products, the merchandise that you buy, what you use, any soaps, clothing even. Goes on to affect pollution, I guess life expectancy as it is too. So, animals. When we think about animals, we want to think of them as our friends, not our food. Animals, right? They're flesh, they have blood, they're bones. They have bones, right? Just like us. They're actually capable of feeling pain and suffering, in case you didn't know. And according to Frederick's article from the Rights of Animals, there is this species bias that kind of has yet to be accepted by society as a whole, where if you are not a human, right, if this lifespan is not a human, it is not important, it is whatever, we treat it as it comes. So, that kind of goes on to affect the animals because, they can't speak for themselves, so who's going to speak for them, right? And, if we keep following down this logic, these animals fall vulnerable into the hands of humans, right? They're being tortured, killed without any remorse whatsoever, and they're plated in front of us for maybe like $5 at McDonald's for like a sleazy burger, Then there's the environmental impact that veganism has. Meat and dairy diets tend to be the number one cause for deforestation. They promote species extinction and greenhouse gases. Industrial farming is responsible for about 14.5% of greenhouse gases and emissions that are released into our atmosphere. And that's kind of like the thing that kind of chews away at our ozone layer, which is causing climate change. In case you guys don't believe it, you can go ahead and look it up at Sanders. With Sanders on the news article, is going vegan better for the environment? And just to give you a little insight, you get 1 kilogram of beef that produces around 63 miles than a car would in gas emissions. Beyond this, going vegan can actually help with world hunger, in case you didn't know, and this was kind of mind-blowing because I think this is, okay, world hunger, like how does this affect people just, outside of the U.S., right, because veganism tends to be a little more prominent in the U.S. The foods that are used to feed and overfeed livestock that are killed for our, enjoyment, for to say, About 40 to 50% of their food is made from corn and soy. It's consisted of corn and soy. So when they butter up, I guess, the cow, then it goes on to kind of, I'm blanking out again, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay. 40 to 50% of the corn and soy that is used to feed the animals, the livestock that we use and eat, could be used to actually feed other people. So I want you to look at this field right here. It's corn, right? About 50 to 80% is used to feed just one stinking livestock, right? Once we get that livestock butchered up and we have that pile, what do you think is more in abundance? The meat pile or the grains? Those grains can be used to serve people in under-resourced communities and even countries, or so to say, according to the Gilman's climate change. And moreover, just to give you a little bit, to rehash kind of that sentiment, Charles Darwin, he kind of goes on to explain how there is this equilibrium between population and environment. So if we were to stay at that equilibrium, we would be able to feed essentially the population of the world, rather than just focusing on feeding the rich, feeding the hungry, in first world countries. Moreover, veganism actually has proven to aid with diseases, including cardiovascular health, stuff like strokes, diabetes, and this is more so because most of the meat and dairy diets are high in cholesterol and low in fiber. So there's a little malnutrition going on purpose too, because these corporations go on to make money off your sickness, according to Vegan Environmental Encyclopedia. And beyond this, they're injected with hormones, salt and chlorine solutions, and sometimes even phosphate additives that have direct links to cancer. So, switching over to a plant-based diet could be a little tricky because it is very restrictive. It is super hard the first week. If you are a meat lover like I once was, getting those extra asada tacos, trust me, it's hard. But it's okay because, most people, when they try to convert, they protest that, no, I can't do plant-based diets because where am I going to get my protein from? Or most people suffer from malnutrition, or that's too expensive for me, I can't do that. Well, according to the Morning Edition, they go on to kind of explain how these nutrients can be found within your body. You could get B12, omega-3, which are mostly found in like fish and eggs and chicken even. Well, B12 for one, it comes from bacteria, not the animal itself, and the bacteria is exposed through contaminated water and manure. Omega-3 is actually found in not just fish oil, but you could actually find it in like flax seeds. So there's always these plant-based alternatives that are so easily accessible. You just have to do your research. If you're going to do a dramatic change to your diet, to your lifestyle, you have to do the research. Moreover, according to the real life biology, proteins, they work like molecules. So you see this bracelet here, let's pretend this is a protein. So what it is you have your amino acids, which would be the beads, right? They are the building blocks of proteins. Where do these proteins come from, right? Your body creates a certain amount of proteins, and there are about 9 different that it does not create on its own. So you have to get them from your food. And well, what you could do if you want to take the more expensive route is you could get like kind of the substitutes for like meat products, just to get the flavor in your meals. Or you can go through the more economical, affordable route, which is sticking to produce and grains. Because, when you are trying to get your protein, it doesn't come just from the animals. The animals have to get it from somewhere, right? Where does that come from? Okay, well, through this process of photosynthesis and so on and so forth. Eventually, the plants that they consume contain the proteins that they need. So when we consume the animal, we get less of the proteins that we consumed. Are you following? I hope so. Okay, and lastly, being a college student at Pepperdine and being vegan. Oh my gosh, so scary. Well, actually, the Pepperdine graphic kind of explores this topic a little bit, and this student actually writes about how it's just going to be simple, easier for you to just ignore the substitutes if you're on a budget and you still want to work out. Again, emphasis on the produce. You want to eat more fruits, more veggies, more grains, because those will help you maintain that sustainability and get all your nutrients you need in a daily to achieve your daily balance. Yeah. Okay. And lastly, I kind of wanted to introduce you to Amy Rednick. She's 51 from Massachusetts, struggles from asthma and heart disease. She tends to get strokes. She was actually tested for this protein efficiency, and from the scale of 1 to 3, 1 being nowhere near a cardiac event to 3 being the most susceptible to one, she was rated at 10.82. So she was within the next 30 days about to hit she was bound to come across a heart attack. And while she went to this True North clinic where they emphasize on clean eating, plant-based diets, and over 2 weeks and just switching over, she was able to basically be not like cured, but she was able to take more walks out, and she was able to. I'm so sorry. She was able to fix her health. She was able to put it in place. Okay, to conclude, here's this QR code for those of you who are interested in learning more about the vegan lifestyle and what it is and what it means. This QR code will take you to the site by the Vegan Society where they will introduce you any tips, tricks, and maybe even recipes that you might want to try out, where they will so to say, kind of help you fit into the plant-based lifestyle and offer you support if you need it. And I'm going to leave you with this quote that I saw on Instagram when I was doing my speech outline. It's that every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. So with that being said, this is how vegans are